Legendary comedian Jay Leno landed in the Holy Land for the second time to host the Genesis Prize Awards ceremony this year. The prize will be awarded to actor Michael Douglas. I-24 News had the great honor to sit down for a really interesting talk, and what a talk it was, with the one and only Jay Leno. Jay Leno, thank you very much for giving us this interview.
Well, thanks for having me on. This is great fun.
So I have to start with an apology.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because the day that it was your last show, we broadcast this, and we broadcast you being really emotional. And of course it was emotional for all of us, and we broadcast it in our channel. But the first thing that I did after broadcasting this is saying that I'm willing to replace you in your...
Well, that's very fine. Welcome to show business. I see you have the true show business heart. That's how we're very sorry. And thank you if that job was available. I see that's why you will be successful.
If this job is available, so I'm willing to take it.
There you go.
So first of all, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
But how are you?
I'm very good, actually. It's fun to be back.
It's fun to be back. And how are you in general? You've been like out of the Jay Leno show.
Well, I'm doing a show. I do a show on the web, Jay Leno's Garage, which is a car show, and I'm doing another car show for CNBC, which is kind of a Top Gear kind of thing, which is great fun. That's what I like to do. So it's fun not having to talk to celebrities. God, it's fantastic.
Really, it's fantastic because...
Well, I mean, because you don't really talk to celebrities. First you talk to the press person, and don't ask him this, and don't ask him that. And when you talk to a celebrity, you're not really talking to Batman. You're talking to a guy playing Batman, so it's, I always enjoyed the politicians and those type of people, because at least as real as a politician could be. I mean, it was who they're supposed to be, that was always fun. So
what brings you to Israel?
Well, I'm doing this Genesis Award. I mean, I find it fascinating that they couldn't find a Jewish comedian to do this.
For the second time, by the way.
Yeah, the second time. A Jewish sports star, that might be harder to find. But a Jewish comedian, it doesn't seem like it should be that difficult. But I'm sort of Israel Shabbos Goy. They bring me in to do this, and that's
I used to be one.
Oh, there you are.
For a long time.
There you go. Well, we have that in common, you see.
Yes. If I should take you back on one specific interview with one celebrity that you remember the most, what would it be?
Oh boy, that's an interesting one. One that was really interesting to me was John F. Kennedy Jr. Because when I was a little kid, I was alive when Kennedy was assassinated. It shows you how old I am. And I remember watching the funeral on TV, and it was black and white. And I'm sitting with my mother, and as the coffin went by, remember there's a famous little John waving, and my mother just crying hysterically. And when you're a kid and your mom's upset, you don't know what to do, So I always had that image in my mind. And then go forward 45, 50 years, I have Jerry Seinfeld's the first guest, and John F. Kennedy Jr. is the second guest. And Jerry and I talk, and I had talked to John F. Kennedy Jr. in the dressing room. Didn't hit me at all. But when I said, please welcome John F. Kennedy Jr., he came around the corner. As I shook his hand, in the corner of my eye, I saw myself shaking hands with him on the TV, and I got very emotional because I thought of my mom, and the idea that I would somehow be shaking hands with that little child on TV 50 years later, it just caught me off guard for a moment. I mean, I didn't become overly emotional on television. It just, I wanted to tell my mom, look, it turned out okay, and obviously it didn't, because sadly he died in a plane crash. But that was a fascinating one for me. How
did you receive the message that you got the job of being the host of the Jay Leno show?
You usually hear it from, you'll be getting a sandwich and the waiter, hey, I heard you got the, what? What? Nobody tells you directly. You always hear through, it was on TV, somebody saw it on TMZ. They never tell you directly. It's like when you get fired. What? I'm not going in tomorrow? What? The guy got the job. What? That's the way show business works. Nobody really tells you exactly.
Do you remember how you felt? Because, to have a show that says the Jay Leno show.
Well, it wasn't a Jay Leno show. It was the Tonight Show. It was the Tonight Show.
The Tonight Show, but it's Jay Leno. I'm sure that your mom was really proud.
Originally, it was the Tonight Show starring Jay Leno. And my mother, being from Scotland, which is very, starring Jay Leno, Mr. Fancy, starring, I've got to put his name on everything, Mr. Starring. So I just changed it to Tonight Show with Jay Leno. So he's getting a big head now. You think he's Mr. Who's Who starring Jay Leno. And my mother just never stopped. She just thought that was, because, you know, the Scotch are very, don't volunteer, don't be quiet, don't stand out in a crowd. So the idea that it would be starring, my mother just thought that was just too much, you know. So we changed it to with Jay Leno.
I wanted to take you, like, in a more serious note about the last events that the United States is experiencing in the last few days and, you know, maybe in the last few months. Michael Brown was maybe the first outbreak of the relationship, or maybe the fragile relationship between black people and white people in the United States.
Well, I think what you have is something that's been going on for a long, long time. The thing is now, the nice thing about having a free media is the fact that you get all the news all the time. I mean, when I was a kid, you never would have read about child molestation. A woman was never raped. She was accosted on the street. So are there problems? Yes. Are things better? I think they are. I mean, I can't pretend to speak for someone else, but at least I know. You know, you have a situation now, what used to be the law is now against the law. So that part of it is good.
Because why I'm asking you, because, you know, when people are coming, for example, to Israel, so they don't know really how we're living here. They don't know how complicated the situation is between Israelis and Palestinians, that it's not black and white. Us watching this from the Middle East, what is happening in the United States, the land of opportunities, when people are being judged based on their color, how much do you think that Hollywood, how much do you think that the culture has an influence on people and in maintaining these stereotypes in the American culture?
It's sensationalism sells. It sells in every country. But you know something? Every human responds to kindness. There is not one race of people that don't respond well to kindness. They just do. I'm fortunate to live in Los Angeles, which has all types of people. My friend Karush has a Jewish girlfriend. He's Iranian. Probably wouldn't happen in Iran.
Of course.
But, all right,
or even in Israel, by the way.
Israel. And the parents are like, well, on both sides, well, here it's an issue, in LA it's a sitcom, you know. So different strokes, different folks. I'm not sure what the question is. What was the question again?
The question is, how much influence do you think that Hollywood has on the stereotypes, on maintaining stereotypes in the American society?
Hollywood's very funny, because when they show violence in Hollywood, it's just a movie. We can't believe anybody would actually believe, blah, blah. But then when Hollywood does some uplifting, heartwarming movie, we feel this will raise the spirit and make people, it's a one-way street. You ever notice that? When it's a heartwarming, touching movie, suddenly everyone will be lifted and we'll all be friends. But when it's some horrible, violent thing, now people know that's not real. So it's hypocrisy at its finest.
You know, so if it's hypocrisy in its finest, and I'm not connecting this to that, but Donald Trump running to the presidency.
Hypocrisy at its finest. You can directly connect it. What is funnier than that?
You know, it's like I'm seeing him. He wants to make America great again. How do you see that?
You know, you get the government you deserve. If you don't pay attention and follow the facts, you get the government you deserve. Look, I know Donald. I think he's trying to take himself a little too seriously. I don't believe this run will go past a couple of weeks. There'll be some reason why. You know, it's hilarious.
Do you see yourself running for the presidency of the United States? Because a lot of actors.
Not until this moment, no. It hadn't even occurred to me. It's very flattering, but thank you. No. So first, so you're thinking, well, if Trump can run,
no.
So
No, my God.
I see. I see.
No.
I get it now. Well, I am storming out.
Okay, I finished this conversation.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to stop here. No, but because you said that you're really interested, it was really much more interesting for you to interview politicians than to interview actors.
Well, real politicians. I mean, Donald Trump is a wealthy guy. Isn't he wealthy? I think he's mentioned it.
I think that he has a couple of dollars.
Yeah. You see, to me, as an American, my fear is that's what the rest of the world think America is like. Hamburgers, giant cars that guzzle gas, and Donald Trump, you know. And of course, it's not. There's way more to it than that.
I will tell you why, because like I told you, a lot of people who are coming from the United States, a lot of people who are coming from all over the world, don't really understand the difficulties in Israel, don't understand the difficulties in the Middle East. We see the United States trying to intervene with what is happening in the Middle East, and sometimes not in a successful way.
Right.
But
No, I think all the time, not in a successful way. Sometimes.
I'm trying to be politically correct here. But I'm trying to understand if you change your mind about how complicated the situation is, that it's not that black and white, that it's not only
I know, but if you keep
Palestinians and
thinking a
Israelis.
situation is so complicated, it'll never get solved. You do it one step at a time. I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean, this is the only democracy in the Middle East. And I actually think Israel is the purest democracy because it seems like every Israeli voter here has his own political party. I mean,
Yes,
you guys have more parties than that Berlusconi guy, the Italian prime minister. I mean, I just like hundreds of.
It's much more interesting than to have only Republicans and Democrats.
I like you have 1/10 of 1% of the vote, and you have the most votes because there are so many parties. I mean, it's as a stranger, you know.
It's hilarious. You can say it.
It is hilarious because stranger in a strange land is always the most interesting thing to me. Who's the guy, Alex de Tocqueville, when he came to America, and he had back in the 1800s, he had all these views of Americans that still apply today. It's just a cultural thing, you know, and it's very funny to me.
So, did you think about maybe visiting in the Palestinian territories or visiting or trying like to see what is happening from this side of the border?
Well, that's not my job. That's not why I'm here.
You think you have fans there? You have people?
I have no idea. But what I mean is, that's not what, there are people who do that better than I do. I get annoyed when I see celebrities. Here's what I feel needs to be done. Well, you're on a sitcom called Who's the Butter or whatever it is. Why would you have any, that a little, so no, that is not I can have an opinion, certainly, but it's not my job to get out there, to come to, I'm a guest here. I'm a guest in your home, whether it's on the Palestinian side or I'm here. So for me to go, you know what I think? I've been here 14 hours. And I think what we need to do, yeah.
You really remind me of John Kerry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go. I rest my case. Oh, he got mad at me once. I was doing a political thing in Washington. I saw Kerry sitting in the audience. I said, John, why the long face? And well, he didn't like that. He didn't like that.
So, I will get you back to, do you miss being
no.
on TV?
Well, I'm still on TV. I'm just not doing the Tonight Show.
You miss it. You don't miss.
Well, at some point you shouldn't have to know all of Jay-Z's music. Okay. I mean, I'm 65. Okay. When you're 40 and I'm talking to an attractive woman like you, it's sexy. When you're 65, now I'm the creepy old guy. Okay.
So it's still very flattering.
Yeah. Well, but you know what I'm saying.
Creepy at all.
You have to know when. Just at some point you go. The show was number one when I got it. I was lucky enough to keep it number one. I handed it over to Jimmy. He keeps it number one. You don't drive the thing into the ground and then give it to the next person, I mean, so.
But some people will say that maybe in a period of time you did have like second thoughts about the idea of leaving the Tonight Show.
Not the second time.
Not the second time?
Not the second. No. Well, the first time it was sort of, the rug was a bit pulled out from under me. That was a little bit different. But not the second time, no.
I'm going to finish this interview with telling you a dream of mine.
A dream?
Yes.
Oh.
Because growing up, I think one of the people that inspired me the most to see journalism in both ways, like in a serious way and in a funny way, was you.
Oh, well, that's
and
very kind.
One of my dreams were that you will interview me.
Oh, I would interview you?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know about what, but you can finish this interview by a question.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Have you, do you have any performing ambitions other than?
Oh, definitely.
What kind of actress, comedian, what, singer?
Actually, I can tell you that my first inspiration was, and my first intention was to be an actress.
Okay, and what happened
But
there?
my father said, okay, listen, Lucy, it's not going to work out. You're not going to earn a lot of money from being an actress, especially not in Israel. So go find yourself a job.
Right.
Go find yourself, go study something that you can actually earn money from. Right. He didn't understand that, like back then, that money in journalism in Israel, you don't make
Yeah,
a
you
lot
don't
of
make
it.
it. Yeah, you don't even, I think you make more money in
Yes.
being an actress. Yeah.
Yes. So, but it's still a hobby.
Huh?
It's still a hobby.
Yeah, well, that's every Jewish parent's nightmare. They go into show business. Oh my God, you'll starve to death.
But I'm Muslim.
Oh, you're Muslim. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay. Well, but parents are parents. I mean,
Yes.
culturally, it's
I have an
the same.
Arab imam. I
Okay.
say that's like
Okay, there you
instead
go.
of a Yiddish imam, I have an Arab.
Oh, there you go. Okay, but they're still mothers. They still love their children, and that's
The most important.
yeah, that's the most important thing. You know, like I say, all people remember kindness.
Jay Leno, thank you very much.
Thank you
for
very
this
much.
interview. Thank you.
Thank you, and
Thank you.
good luck with that acting thing.
Maybe, inshallah. I couldn't think of a better way to finish this week with an interview with the incredible Jay Leno.